Okay, let's get started. Om Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavananam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Ekadantaya Vidmahe Kanchi Vasaya Dhimahi Tanno Chandrasekhara Prachodayat. Om Pranami Dakshinamurti Vyasa Shankara Rupinam Jyotirmayam Gurum Srimat Chandrasekhara Saraswati. Om Shruti Smriti Purananamalayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Lokashankaram. Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Dattatreya Samarambam Nrsimhadika Madhyamam Satchidananda Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Okay, let's get started today. So, welcome to the Subrahmanya Bhujangam class. So, we have covered until 12 shlokas last class. Hopefully, we will be able to go a little bit faster today because these shlokas, they all have a lot of meaning. And obviously, whatever I know, I think I can cover a little bit faster today, I think, because in the last class, we had some stories to come up with from the Puranas and all that. So that made it like even more time consuming. But to me, it is okay. Let's just, try to do what we can do today. But hopefully we'll cover 3 shlokas today. Okay, so before I start, does anybody have any questions until now in what we covered in all the classes till now? Okay, no problem. So I'm going to go to the 13th shloka. Okay, but before we go into this shloka, just a small summary of what we have seen. So from shloka number 9, I'm going to just go back to shloka number 9, which says Ranadhamsake Manjuletyanta Shone, that shloka. In that we saw how Bhagavad-pada Shankaracharya was praying at the lotus feet of Bhagavan Subrahmanya. Okay, so he start from Padadi Kesha Varnanam, they say, right? From the feet to the head. That is one type of Varnanam. And they can spend a lot of time in each of the Angas, but sometimes, depending on the situation, they move a little bit faster. Okay, so from the Pada, in the 10th shloka, the prayer was towards Kati. Kati means like the hip portion of Bhagavan. And then in the 11th shloka, it was on the Vakshasthala. Okay. And in the 12th shloka, it was on Bahu Danda, the 12 hands of Subramanya. We saw that was a really beautiful shloka, especially the 12th shloka on I'm just going to go back a little bit here. This is the shloka. Vidhau klipta dandan swalila drithandan nirastebha shundan dvishatkala dandan atendrari shandan jagatrana shaundan sada te prachandan shraye bahudandan. So this is what we saw. Actually, I have to upload the video. I will upload it today. You can see what we saw in the last class. Okay, so in this there are a couple of things I wanted to go over. Vidhau klipta dandan, those hands which punish. Vidhi means Brahma. We saw that. So if you really look at it, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, okay, or the 3 aspects of Ishvara who does the creation, then sustenance and dissolution, right? And then there is a 4th and 5th activity, which is called Tirodhana and Anugraha. Tirodhana is after the dissolution happened by Rudra, then the world has to come back again. So there is a period in between In Tamil, this word Tirodhanam is called Maraithal. Actually, the actual meaning of it is everything goes back into Brahman and then gets regenerated back from Brahman into the worlds again. Okay. So that particular activity, all these activities, okay, are done by Subrahmanya himself. He is the one who is making, like all these 5 activities happen. Tirodhana and Anugraha. Anugraha is the Sadashiva. So we also say that, like Sadashiva has 5 faces. Sadyojada, Vamadeva, Aghora, Tatpurusha, Ishana, like that. Through the Sadyojada phase, he is acting as Brahma. Okay, Sadyojada Vamadeva, through the Vamadeva phase, he is acting as Vishnu. Through Aghora phase, he is acting as Rudra. Okay, Aghora, Tatpurusha, Ishana. So the Tatpurusha phase is the one which does Tirodhana, and Ishana is the phase which does the Anugraha. Anugraha means the grace. So whenever we pray to God, we always expect him to give us something, right? So then we activate that grace feature of Bhagavan. So Subrahmanya has 6 faces, and the 6th face is called Adhomukha. It is pointed inwards. So which is also known as the face of the Shakti. So in a way we say he is Shiva and Shakti, but why I am bringing this is because Vidhau Klipta Dandan, even the Vidhi, who is one aspect of Ishvara, can be punished by Subrahmanya. So it means he is Ishvara. That is what it means. So in the second pada is a Swalila Drita Andan. So Swalila, with his own Leela, okay, just like a sport, a small game, right? Sportively, Drita Andan, multiverses, multiple universes, he is just bearing them with his hands. So what I was trying to tell was here, he is directly talking about Ishvara. So Subrahmanya is nothing but that Ishvara, okay, which is praised in the Vedas as Saguna Brahma. So when Brahman is there, it is Nirguna. It does not have any form. It does not have any form or like name associated with it, but we are giving it a name called Brahman, right? There is no time factor. There is no XYZ coordinates. So there is no space, there is no time. That is Brahman, okay? But when that Brahman appears in Maya, that is Ishvara. Because once we talk about Maya, then there is space, then there is time, there is everything. And that particular aspect of Brahman which appears in Maya is Ishvara. Because of Ishvara, the Srishti, Sthiti, Layam, Tirodhana, and Anugraha, all these things happen. And again, everything goes back to Ishvara. There is a beautiful suktam in Rigveda. It is called Nasadiya Suktam. Na Asad Iya. Like Sat is Brahman, Asat is Maya. So this Nasadiya Suktam primarily talks about that aspect of Ishvara when creation is happening. Okay. So you can look it up, but why I am saying that is like people read it and then say okay, just hold on 1 second, please. Hey guys, please don't make sound. So the Nasadiya Suktam, I was talking about it. That particular Suktam, it talks about creation. And now people are saying it is referring to that point where the universe is created through Big Bang and all that. See, whether Big Bang happened or multiple Big Bangs happen, it doesn't matter to us because the concept is very simple. In our Sanatana Dharma, the concept is basically everything comes out of Brahman and goes back to Brahman. And Maya is that projected aspect of Brahman, which is what we see. So science can just, come up with various theories, and some of them may look, similar to what we are following, and some of them may not look, but it doesn't matter. What is already happening, what is happening is this concept is happening, but how it is happening, they can be like playing on, like theories, and then finally they may be coming up with multiple theories, and all of them may match. So we don't have to really like go and fit into that model. But that model is what we need to understand is everything is in consciousness. Consciousness is, like people sometimes they tend to think, oh, consciousness is created by brain. No, brain is not creating consciousness. Consciousness is giving, it is kind of like manifested in all the living beings, okay, through their activities, through the way we speak, through everything, right? So you know that I'm a conscious being, I know that you are a conscious being, okay? That is primarily because we just think we all have life, okay? And then whatever is not having life, we think that is not conscious. In fact, it is there everywhere. Everything is in consciousness is the basic concept. And today in quantum mechanics, they think it is true. That is one of the theories. They are saying everything is in consciousness. They cannot disprove that. And some physicists are going towards that thing and saying that, yeah, that is absolutely true. Okay. So anyway, not to deviate much on that topic. So here I just wanted to say that Vidhau Klipta Dandan Swalila Drithandan indicates that Subramanya is nothing but Ishvara. That is what I was trying to say. Okay. And then here, Bhagavad-pada Shankaracharya was praising his hands, the Lord's hands. Okay. So in the next shloka, the 13th shloka, we are going to see the face. Okay. So he's going up from the feet in the 9th shlokas and going up and towards the head. And right now we are going to talk about the face. Okay. I'm going to chant this, and whoever wants to, who is going to chant after me? Anybody? Aparna, Lakshmi, Nitya. Aparna solrela?
Sure, Ravi. Sure.
Okay. So here also, you need to just understand that, like this word, hinaha tada. So if you want to split here, you will say, sada purna bimbaha kalankaischa hinaha tada tvan mukhanam, like that it will say. But sometimes we have to combine that and say that. Okay. So when we record it, we will record it in a particular way. You can follow that. But today I am going to split it as much as possible just for the sake of chanting. Okay. Sada Sharadaha.
Sada Sharadaha. Sada Sharadaha.
Shanmruganka Yadisyuhu.
Shanmruganka Yadisyuhu.
Exactly.
Shanmruganka. Shanmruganka Yadisyuhu.
Yes. Samudyanta Yeva.
Samudyanta Yeva. Samudyanta Yeva.
Stitaschet Samantat.
Stitaschet Samantat. Stitaschet Samantat.
Sada Purna Bimbaha.
Sada Purna Bimbaha. Sada Purna Bimbaha.
Kalankaischa Hinaha.
Kalankaischa Hinaha. Kalankaischa Hinaha.
Tadatvan Mukhanam.
Tadatvan Mukhanam. Tadatvan Mukhanam.
Bruve Skanda Samyam.
Bruve Skanda Samyam. Bruve Skanda Samyam.
Sada Sharadashan Mruganka Yadisyuhu.
Sada Sharadaha. Shanmruganka Yadisyuhu.
Yeah, you try to combine. No, you try to combine this. Sada Sharada Shanmruganka Yadisyuhu.
Okay. Sada Sharada Shanmruganka Yadisyuhu. Sada Sharada Shanmruganka Yadisyuhu.
Samudyanta eva sthitaschet samantat.
समुद्यन्त एव स्थिताश्चेत् समन्तात् समुद्यन्त एव स्थिताश्चेत् समन्तात्
Sada Purna Bimbah Kalankaischa Hinaha.
सदा पूर्णबिम्बाः कलङ्कैश्च हीनाः सदा पूर्णबिम्बाः कलङ्कैश्च हीनाः
Tada Tvanmukhanam Bruve Skandasamyam.
तदा त्वन्मुखानां ब्रुवे स्कन्दसाम्यम् तदा त्वन्मुखानां ब्रुवे स्कन्दसाम्यम्.
Okay, so let's go to the Padacheraha. What are all the words which make up this shloka? Sada Sharadaha Shanmruganga. Shanmruganka. That word is Shat Mriga Ankaha. Shat Mriganka. Okay. Ankaha is there. But, like whenever you write it with another word like Yedisyuhu, that Anka, that Visarga goes away, right? Then Yedisyuhu, Sada Sharadaha, Shat Mriga Ankaha, Yedisyuhu, Samudyantaha, Yeva, Sthitaha, Chet Samantat. Okay. Sada Purnabimbaha, Kalankaihi, Cha hinaha tada tvat mukhanam becomes twan mukhana. Okay, twan mukhanam is nothing but tvat mukhanam. 2 words. Bruve skanda samyam. Okay, so this is how these are the words are there. You can obviously once I share all these videos and everything, if you want to understand each word by word, that will be really good because that will help in meditating on the meaning of the shloka. Okay, but the Anvaya is the prose order. Okay, so how is he going? Skanda Samyam is there, right, in the last sentence. So that we are going to take in the beginning like this. Hey Skanda, Sharadaha Shadmrugankaha Purnabimbaha Samantat Sada Samudyantaha Eva Yedisyuhu Tada Tvatmukhanam Samyam Bruve. Okay. See, I'm going to repeat that word, Tada Tvatmukhanam Samyam Bruve, twice. Okay. Actually, in the 4th line also, you see that. Okay. Tata Purnabimbaha Kalankaihi Cha Hinaha Sada Sthitaha Chet Tada Tvatmukhanam Samyam Bruve. So what it really means is that word, right? Tvanmukhanam Bruveskanda Samyam, Tada Tvanmukhanam Bruveskanda Samyam. That last line has to repeat after the 2nd line and also after the 3rd line, because there are 2 times that concept is repeated, which we are going to see what it is. Okay. So here we always start with the verb. Okay, which is also known as the Kriya Pada. Okay, so he says, Hey Skanda, Hey Muruha. Okay, Aham Bruve. Bruve means I will say, I will tell, Solluvain. Okay, like that. Okay, Hey Skanda, Aham Bruve. Samyam Bruve means what will I tell? Samyam means is some kind of a upamana, some kind of a comparison. Okay. Tada Tvatmukhanam Samyam Bruve. Your face. Okay. For your faces. Mukhanam is verb. Okay. For your faces, I will tell this as a comparison. He says. Let's just go back to the 1st line and see. Sharadaha Shatmrugangaha. Shanmruganka is Shat Mriga Ankaha, I said. Mriganka means, Mriga means deer. Anka means it's a mark, deer mark. Okay. If you look at the moon, sometimes you see that, even though it is like white in color and all that, you will see some black color stuff on the moon. Okay. So sometimes it looks like there is a deer in the moon. And other times, like on different days, you look at the moon, it will look like there is a rabbit or a hare. Okay. So the moon is also called Mriganka, means the deer mark is what Mriganka means. It is having the mark of the deer. That is another name for the moon. It is also called Shashanka. Okay. Means the mark of a rabbit. Okay. So moon has multiple names like that. So here he is taking the name of Mriganka. Okay. Sada Sharadaha Shadmrikanga. Shadmrikanga means there are 6 moons. Okay. Purna Bimbaha means it is like the full moons. Okay. The Paurnami Nilavu. Purna Bimbaha means the full moons. Raka Shashi Vadane. Like that, there is a song. There is a Muthuswami Dikshadhar song. I think in Shri Varalakshmi, that song he says that Raka Shashi Vadane. Raka means full moon. Raka Shashi means full moon. Vadane, your face is like that, is comparing. So there is a way always poets compare the moon, to the face of the Lord or Ambal to the moon. Okay, there are multiple reasons for it, because the moon is bright, at the same time it is cool. It has a calming effect on the people, right? So, it is also said that though moon gets its power, the light from the sun, interestingly, we talk about photosynthesis, right? When we say photosynthesis is what gives the power for the plants to grow, right? It is a food for the plants. Okay. But they say all the aushadas means all the herbs and everything. Okay. They get their power from the moon, they say. Actually, it seems moon is nurturing them in a different way. Okay. So one probably gives the food, but other one gives the actual power of the aushadas, right? So moon is having that kind of a power. Okay. And that is why the comparison is always to the moon. It is calm. It has a cooling effect. Okay. The full moon. Plus it is able to nurture, okay, certain characteristics. So Purna Bimbaha, okay, Samantat. Samantat is interesting. It is rising. Okay. No. Samantat means all around. Okay. All around. Sada Samantat. Okay. The next line says Sada Samudyantaha. Samudyantaha means it is rising. Okay. Rising all around 6 moons. Think about it. And those moons are Sharadaha. Sharada means the Sharat Kala, the autumnal moon. If there are 6 moons rising, okay, at the same time, okay, Yeva, indeed, Yadisyuhu, if that is the case, Tada, at that time, Tvatmukanam Samyam Bruve, I will compare it to that. Okay, he says that. But here you need to see, he is talking about the mark on the moon, right? Mriga Anka, there is some mark on the moon, which is like a dark spot, right? So what we need to understand is he is trying to compare the 6 faces of Shanmukha to 6 moons, which are having a mark. It means the faces of Shanmukha is having, and the black mark poduvale, tilakam, right? So it is like Shanmukha is wearing a tilakam on his moon. So if there are 6 moons all around with tilaka, with marks, I can compare it to your 6 faces with tilakas. That is what he says. Now let us look at the next line. Tata, in the same way, Purna Bimbaha. So Purna Bimbaha we saw in the first line also. So here also Purna Bimbaha means full moons. Kalankaihi cha hinaha. Kalankam is, I said that, see that mark itself is a kalanka because it is having a dark spot, right? So on the moon, if it is not having a dark spot, if it is just bright, like a plate, right? Just white plate, white color moon without any spots, Kalankaihi cha hinaha, without any spot, sada, all the time if it is there, sada stitaha, if such a moon is present, Okay. Chet, in case it is present. Tada, so in the same manner, right? Twan mukhanam samyam bruve. I will compare it to your 6 faces. So here we have to understand this. First he says that moon is having kalanka. Moon is having marks. Okay. Like it is like the Kasturi Tilaka and Subramanya's face. But the interesting point is he's talking about 6 moons rising at the same time, which is not an upamana in its own way, because, I mean, he's saying I'm comparing, but truly speaking, there are no 6 moons rising at the same time. So it is not a proper upamana. So what Shankara says is, that is not the case actually. So I'm just trying to do the other thing. Okay. There is a moon without any mark. And then I'm trying to compare it to your face. Okay. So if that is the case, I can compare it to your face without any tilaka, right? The bright face of Subramanya. But that is also not possible because moon is having a mark. So it is kind of like quite contradictory that moon is having a mark, but I cannot compare it to your face because I need 6 moons rising at the same time. Moon is not having a mark, I can compare it to your face, but unfortunately the real moon is having a mark. So because of this, moon cannot be compared to your face in any way. So your face cannot be compared to anything at all. Okay, there is no comparison to your 6 faces. That is what he really is trying to say here. Okay, so hey Skanda, okay, if there are 6 moons with marks rising at the same time, okay, 6 full moons rising at the same time, which are having the marks, I can compare it to your face with tilakas. Okay. In the same manner, if there are 6 full moons without any marks, I can again compare it to your face without tilakas. But unfortunately, which is not saying, there is no such situation. There are no 6 moons rising at the same time. There are no 6 moons without marks. So both are not possible. Hence, I cannot compare moon to your face, and your face cannot be compared to anything, to the moon. Okay, it means, he is really looking at Subramanya's face, that he cannot compare it to anything. But interestingly, in the next shloka, he's going to touch it again. Let's just chant this and then go back and look at this. Okay, Spuranmandahasaihi.
Spuranmandahasaihi, Spuranmandahasaihi,
Sahamsani chanchat.
Sahamsani chanchat, Sahamsani chanchat,
Katakshravali bhringa sanghojvalani.
Katakshavali bhringa sanghojvalani, Katakshavali bhringa sanghojvalani,
Sudhasyandi bimbadharani shasuno.
Sudhasyandi bimbadharani shasuno, Sudhasyandi bimbadharani shasuno,
Tavalokaye shanmukham bhoruhani.
Tavalokaye षण्मुखाम्भोरुहाणि Tavalokaye षण्मुखाम्भोरुहाणि.
Yeah, actually, I try to split it into, the every pada into 2, but sometimes it is just a little bit challenging because these words are compound words. Okay. So I'm going to chant the first 2 lines once and the second 2 lines once. Okay. Let's try that. Okay. Spuran mandahasai sahamsani chanchat katakshavali bhringa sanghojvalani.
स्फुरन्मन्दहासैः सहंसानि चञ्चत्कटाक्षावलि भृङ्गसङ्घोज्ज्वलानि स्फुरन्मन्दहासैः सहंसानि चञ्चत्कटाक्षावलि भृङ्गसङ्घोज्ज्वलानि
Udhasyandi bimbadharani shasuno tavalokaye shanmukhamburuhani.
सुधास्यन्ति बिम्बाधराणि शसूनो तवालोकये षण्मुखाम्बोरुहाणि
Okay.
सुधास्यन्ति
Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. सुधास्यन्ति बिम्बाधराणि शसूनो तवालोकये षण्मुखा मुखाम्भोरुहाणि.
Okay, very nice, Aparna. Very good job. Okay.
Thanks to Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. That's what I think. Okay. So the Padachedaha, okay, Spuran Mandahasaihi becomes Spurat Mandahasaihi. Okay. Sahamsani is another word. Chanchat Katakshawali Bhringa Sanghojvalani is one word. Chanchat Kataksha Avali Bhringa Sangha Ujvalani. Okay, that is one big word, compound word. Sudasyandi. Actually, it is a compound word made of six words. Okay, that's why I'm putting a dash. Okay, Sudhasyandi Bimba Adharani Isha Suno. Okay, so that is all. That also goes like that. Okay, but if you really look at it, Sudhasyandi. See on the left, either you look in Sanskrit or English, you say Sudhasyandi. Bimba is Bimba. Adharani Isha Suno. Here it is Adharani Isha Suno. So when you combine E and E, it becomes E. Adharani Isha Suno, like that it becomes, right? So we need to be like a little bit careful with those things if you are not splitting. Okay, so that is why we got to like split at the right places. Okay, because then long vowel becomes short vowel becomes long vowel, so we need to be careful, right? So this is how the Padacheda goes. Okay, let's look at the Anvayaha, the prose order. He Isha Suno Sahamsani Spurat Mandahasaihi Chanchat Kataksha Avali Bhringa Sangha Ujvalani Sudhasyandi Bimba Adharani Tava Shat Mukha Ambhoruhani Alokaye. This is what he says. Okay. Let's look at, see, actually, it is not very difficult. When I started Subrahmanya Bhujangam, I thought it is, like I didn't even like understand these words. So eventually, the little bit of effort just led to this point where I am able to, like split the words, understand the words better. Okay. But there are a lot of like grammatical nuances in the way, like these shlokas are made. In Sanskrit, you have the vibhakti, first vibhakti, second vibhakti, like that. That is, like we have up to 7 vibhaktis, right? They're all like in English, we call it as prepositions, right? For example, Ramanudaya, Ramanin, Ramanai, Ramanukku, all that, right? All those things are all basically prepositions, and they are all the vibhaktis. So Shankaracharya, he just changes the vibhakti in multiple ways. Sometimes he's in second vibhakti, sometimes he's in seventh vibhakti. So accordingly, several things change. That is the beauty of these poem, and he does it because I think he needs to get the actual what do you call that order, right? Bhujanga Prayata, that particular poetic order, he needs to get that. So he does that. So only like adepts and great poets can do these kind of tricks. Okay, so anyway, going back here, He Isha Suno. Okay, Tava Shatmukha Ambhoruhani Alokaye. Aham Alokaye. Aham means I. That I is implied. Alokaye is a verb which goes with singular person, right? First person singular. Okay. Aham Alokaye. He Isha Sino. He Isha Suno. Aham Alokaye. It says. So if you really see, Isha Suno is, Isha is Shiva. Suno is sun. Shiva's son. Okay. Alokaye. Alokaye typically means I see, I look at. Okay. So what do I look at? Hey Isha Suno, I am looking at something, right? What am I looking at? Tava Shanmukha Ambhoruhani. Okay. So first he said, no, I cannot compare your face to the moon. He said, that is called Nirupama. Nirupama means, Upamana means comparison. Nirupamana means there is no comparison. That is what was there in the last shloka. But here, he's coming back and he says, Shanmukha, we know, six-faced Lord, okay? Shatu Mukha Ambhoruhani, your lotus faces. So here, he is not basically comparing it to lotus. He is directly making it as a rupa. Rupa Alankara means your faces are lotus, period, right? So here he is comparing the Lord's face directly to lotus. Ambhoruhani means lotus. That is another name, okay? That comes from water, okay? Abja means it's another name because it is come from water. So these are all multiple synonyms for the same lotus. So Shatmukha Ambhoruhani, there are 6 lotuses. Okay. All okay. I see those 6. Hey Isha Suno, Tava Shatmukha Ambhoruhani, all okay. I am looking at your 6 lotus faces. And then he says in the first line, Sahamsani, Spurat Mandahasaihi, Sahamsani. Hamsa, we already saw the swan, the legendary swan. Like the swans, Sahamsani, Spurat Mandahasaihi. Mandahasa is a smile. Okay. It is not like a laughter, like ha 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 ha, like that. It's like a smile. We all understand what a smile is. Punshiripu, right? In Tamil. Spurat Mandahasaihi. Spurat Mandahasaihi means it is gentle smile, you can say, but it is having some kind of a shining or glittering, right? Actual word means glitter, okay, or spark. Maybe a little bit of teeth are visible. So it is glittering. So Sahamsani Spurat Mandahasaihi. Okay. So first there is a lotus. In the lotus, you have a smile. That smile is like a Hamsa bird. Okay, so there are six lotuses and 6 Hamsa birds right now. Next comes Chanchat, Kataksha, Avali, Bhringa, Sangha, Ujjvalani. Okay, Ujjvala means like lighted up, beaming. Okay, it is also another synonym for shining, you say. Bhringa Sangha. Bhringa means like bees. Okay, Sangha means Kutam. What do you call? Sangha means like collection. Okay, a collection of bees. Kataksha Avali. Kataksha means your eyes, right? Avali means rose. What is he trying to say here? So there are 6 faces. Every face has 2 eyes. So there are 12 eyes. So it looks like it is like a row of eyes. But because the eyes have the pupil and they are black in color, it looks like they are bees. Okay. So he's comparing it to the bees Samuha. Okay. Bhringa Samuha, Bhringa Sangha. So it is like, like a line of bees. Okay. But they're not simply standing there. Chanchat. Chanchat means moving. We say, right? Manas chanchalam means like the mind is like wavering, moving. It is not like firm. So chanchat is a word for moving. So his eyes are moving here and there like that. Okay. So Kataksha, Avali, Bhringa, Sangha, Ujjvalani. So now, so first, okay, again going back, there are 6 faces which are lotuses. And in those lotuses, there are Hamsas, which is like the smile. Okay. There are 6 Hamsas. And then now there are 12 bees. Instead of saying 12 bees, he is saying Bhringa Sangha. Okay. There is a string of bees. Avali, right? Avali means like a row or string. Like Deepa Avali. Deepa Avali. Okay. We put a row of lamps. for Deepavali. So here it is Bringa, it is Kataksha Avali Bringa Sangha, means it is row of bees which is in the form, which is in your eyes, like that, right? Then Sudhasyandi Bimba Adharani. Bimba Adharani. Okay. Adharani means lips. Okay. Adharam Maduram. Okay. If you listen to the Madhura Ashtakam, he says Vadanam Maduram, Vadanam Maduram, Adharam Maduram, Madhuradipate, Madhuram, Maduram, like that it goes on Krishna, right? Everything is Maduram, right? So the word Adharam comes there. Adharam comes there. Adharam means lips. But here he says Bimba. Bimba Adharani. It is not one Adharam, it is not one Adhara because there are 6 of them again. It is plural. So Bimba fruit. In Tamil we say Kovai Param, not Kovai Kai. Kovai Kai is what we buy in Indian store and cook. Okay, this is not that one. The Kovai Param is supposed to be red in color, fully red in color. The fully developed Kovai Param. Okay, I have seen it when I was, like young as a boy. I haven't seen it in a long time, a Kovai Param. So Bimba Adharani. So there are bright red lips, like, looking like Kovai Param. Sudhasyandi. They are flowing nectar. Okay. Syandi means, Sudha is nectar. Okay. It is also for honey, we say, nectar, we say. Typically, Amrita is Sudha. Sudhasyandi, it is like flowing. So his lips are like flowing nectar. Okay, it looks like that, like nectar is flowing there. So on 6 faces, which are nothing but 6 lotuses, directly he is saying they are lotuses. Okay, and in that we see Hamsapakshis, in that we see bees, and then we also see a Bimba fruit, right, for Adhara. This is how he's giving the comparison. This particular thing we talked about earlier about lotuses. What is the significance of lotus? Okay, there seems to be a lot of significance about lotus. Whenever we talk about God, whenever we talk about Ambal or even Lord or anybody, we say, first, like we say that their feet, okay, Ranadhamsake Manjuledyanta Shone, in that, okay, in the 9th shloka, he says the feet are lotuses. Okay, and then again in that same shloka, he talks about Hamsa. The Hamsa Pakshis roam around lotuses. Okay, and that time I said the reason for that is because lotus comes from mud. Actually, like there is a lot of mud and everything. The water is dirty. The water looks dirty at least. And though we call it fresh water, right? But from there, lotus comes up. And lotus opens up looking at the sun and it closes, right? We all see that. So what that lotus there signifies is from asat, it becomes sat. It's a power of discrimination. It is leaving behind all the it is leaving behind all those bad things and it is coming up, right? So it is staying afloat on that kind of a situation. That is the power of lotus. Okay, so we said that lotus, like the Paramahamsa, Parivrajakacharyas, all those sannyasis, we call them as Paramahamsas for that reason. Because Hamsas, they move around lotus, and Hamsa is also having the same kind of a characteristic where it can discriminate between asat and sat, between the real and the non-real. They say, like the legendary Hamsa is supposed to take the milk portion of the milk and leave the water portion away, right? It drinks the lactose and lactase and leaves, the water, right? So that is also power of discrimination. That is why Hamsas roam around the lotus. And also the bees also roam around the lotus, okay, because it is like a flower and for pollination. So we saw the same kind of a comparison in the 9th shloka, and we are seeing it here. Okay, So for Ambal, for like whether it is whether a deity is in a male form or a female form, we see the comparison with lotus. For example, eyes. Kanchadalaya Jakshi, we say, right? Kamakshi, that song is there. So that is on Amba. Okay. And then Neerajakshi. Okay. Like that, like the Akshi means eye. So we always talk about lotus side. For Rama, we say Rajiva Lochana. Okay. Again, lotus. Okay. So like that, the lotus is compared to the eyes, the lotus is compared to the feet, the lotus is compared to the hands, and lotus is now compared to the face. What does this signify? What does this signify? Means, again, going back to the concept that the lotus comes from muddy water. It stays, like nothing sticks to the lotus leaf, nothing sticks to the lotus. It is sattva guna. But Bhagavan is Shuddha Sattva, even more like purified Sattva. Ishvara is almost, like there. Nothing bad can reach him. That is one of the reasons lotus is compared to Bhagavan. Lotus is compared to Amba. Okay. So I want to go to the next shloka. So today we are making it to the third shloka, which is good. Okay. Okay. This shloka is about Bhagavan's eyes. Okay. Subramanya's eyes. So we saw his face in the last shloka, and we had a little small mention about his eyes. But here it is about his eyes. Let us look what the meaning is. Let's chant first. Vishaleshu.
Vishaleshu. Vishaleshu.
Karnanta.
Karnanta. Karnanta.
Dirgheshvajasram.
Dirgheshvajasram. Dirgheshvajasram.
Dayasyandishu.
Dayasyandishu. Dayasyandishu.
Dvadashas vikshaneshu.
Dvadashasvikshaneshu. Dvadashasvikshaneshu.
Mayi shatkatakshaha.
Mayi षट्कटाक्षः. Mayi षट्कटाक्षः.
Sakritpatitaschet.
Sakritpatitaschet. Sakritpatitakshet.
Sakritpatitaschet.
Taschet. Okay. Sakritpatitaschet. Sakritpatitaschet.
Yeah, you see the che and it are combined. Okay. So it is actually, okay, I'll talk about it after we chant. Bhavete dayashila.
Bhavete dayashila. Bhavete dayashila.
Kana mahanihi.
Kana mahanihi. Kana mahanihi.
Okay, I'm going to chant one full line. Okay. Vishaleshu karnanta dirgheshvajasram.
Vishaleshu karnanta dirgheshvajasram. Vishaleshu karnanta dirgheshvajasram.
Dayasyandishu dvadashas vikshaneshu.
Dayasyandishu dvadashasvikshaneshu. Dayasyandishu dvadashasvikshaneshu.
Mayi shatkataksha sakritpatitaschet.
Mayi षट्कटाक्षसकृत्पातितश्चेत्. Mayi षट्कटाक्षसकृत्पातितश्चेत्.
Bhavete dayashilakana mahanihi.
Bhavete dayashilakana mahanihi. Bhavete dayashilakana mahanihi.
Okay, so this is basically che it, the first th. But here if you see, it is third the. Okay. Sakritpaditas bhavete. So when you combine, it will go like this. Maishat katakshat sakritpaditas bhavete dayashilakana mahanihi. If you split it, it is first the, chet. If you don't split it, it is third the, right? Third the. Okay. So when you are chanting together, please, like be careful about those kind of things. Maishat katakshassa kritpaditaschet bhava taschet bhavete daya shila kana mahanihi. Like that it goes. Okay. I just wanted to, like bring that visarga there. How not visarga, bring that sandhi rule. Okay. How it works. Okay. Now the padachedaha. Vishaleshu karna anta dirgeshu ajasram. Dirgesh vajasram. See, dirgesh vajasram becomes dirgeshu ajasram. That is the actual. Shu a becomes shva. Okay, shu and a becomes shva. Okay. Dayasyandishu dwadashasu ikshaneshu, that becomes dwadashas vikshaneshu svi. It becomes svi, you see. Dwadashas vikshaneshu. Mayi ishat katakshaha becomes mayishat katakshaha. Again, long vowel, okay. Mayi ishat katakshaha. Sakrit patitaha chet. Sakrit patitaha chet. Bhavet te dayashila ka namahanihi. Actually, it is not very difficult, but this is all in the 7th vibhakti. Okay. So all this shu, all these things are coming because of that reason, right? So it is again, like, one of the poetic things. So let's look at the anvaya. Okay. The prose order. So he says, He dayashila vishaleshu karna antadirgheshu ajasram dayasyandishu dvadashasu ikshaneshu ishat katakshaha mayi sakrit patitaha bhavet chet te ka namahanihi bhavet. So the word bhavet I am adding 2 times here. So let us look at, so he's asking this question to Bhagavan. Hey Dayashila. Dayashila we understand, right? Dayashila means, hey compassionate one. Dayashila, it's a guna, right? So he's having the guna of compassion. So we are addressing him, hey compassionate one, hey Muruga, you are so compassionate. Te kama te ka namahanihi bhavet. Ka namahanihi. Okay. Ka namahanihi means what will happen? Actually, what bad thing will happen? Hani means, like we say bad, right? Hani is some kind of a damage, some kind of a loss. Okay. Ka namahanihi. What kind of a bad thing can happen? Unakku enna bad thing for you? What bad thing will happen? We are asking. What is he trying to say here? Let's look at the first line. Vishaleshu. Vishala means broad. Okay. Okay. This is basically broad, wide, large. Okay. That is Vishala. Karna anta dirgheshu. Karna means ear. Anta means towards the end of the ear, touching the ear. Dirgha means long. So your long, broad eyes, which are almost touching your ears. Okay. Ajasram means sada. Actually, it means another word for sada, always. Okay. Always dayasyandishu. Sorry, always means ajasram. Ajasram dayasyandishu. Always compassionate. Daya means again compassion. Okay. Syandi. So even in the last shloka we saw that Sandhi means flowing. Okay. Syanda is to flow, pouring. Your compassion, sada, always pouring compassion. Pouring compassion out of where? Okay. Dvadashasu, dvadashasu, ikshaneshu. Your 12 eyes. Okay. Your 12 eyes are constantly or always pouring compassion, flowing compassion out of them. Okay. So he said, you have eyes which are broad, long, and almost touching towards your ears. And they are always pouring. Dvadashasu means 12, the number 12 eyes. Okay. They are always pouring compassion. Okay. Ishat katakshaha. Ishat means little. Okay. Katakshaha, glance. Side glance. Okay. I want your little glance of the eyes. அதாவது இப்படி ஐல இப்படி சைடால பார்த்தா கூட போறோம். Little பார்த்தா போறோம். Okay. Mayi, towards me, sakrit patitaha bhavet chet. Patitaha means one who has fallen down. Okay. Patita means falling down by oneself. Patayati means to make falling down. Okay. That is patayati. Patati, patati. Okay. Padam, patayati. Patayati means somebody who is made to read. Patati means they are reading by themselves, right? So like that, patitaha means it is like made to fall. Okay. Okay. Once. Sakrit means once. Just a little once. Okay. Chet, if. Little ones, if your kataksha, if it is falling on me, te ka namahanihi bhavet. What kind of a damage will happen to you? What kind of a loss will happen to you? Puriyirda? So, he dayashila, he compassionate Muruga, vishaleshu karna anta dirgeshu ajasram. Dayasyandishu dvadashasu ikshaneshu. With your 12 eyes, which are broad, long, and touching towards your ears, which are always pouring compassion. Okay. With those kind of eyes, if you glance at me little, okay, once, what damage will happen to you? Nothing will happen to you. Okay. He is asking with, like Muruga, with saying that, like I have the right to ask, kind of a thing. Okay. Nothing wrong will happen to you. You just do it for me. Please do it for me. Like a child is asking the mother, he is saying, okay, I want to add one small thing here. There are 12 eyes, right? So Shri Subrahmanya Shastri, in his commentary, he writes a particular shloka from Mahabharata. He says, Jnanam cha satyam cha shamaha shrutam cha amatsaryam hrihi titiksha anasuya yajnascha danam cha damaha dhritischa yete vrataha dvadashaha brahmanasya. So if anybody who is in the pursuit of Brahman, so here brahmanasya means not only the Brahmins as we know, anybody who is in the pursuit of Brahman, the truth, okay, it is said in Mahabharata, they need to have 12 particular gunas, which is jnana, okay, which is like atma jnana, satyam, they always speak the truth, shamaha, shama dhamma, we already saw that. Shama means mano nigraham, control of mind. Shrutam, shrutam is to listen, vedanta vicharam, that is shrutam. Cha amatsaryam, matsaryam means jealousy. Amatsaryam means without jealousy. Titiksha, hrihi. Hrihi means basically it is kind of shyness. What shyness they are talking about is shyness in doing adharma, Means in case you have to fall to adharma, you will be shy. You won't even go in that direction. Titiksha. We talked about it again earlier. Titiksha means like being balanced, even at times of good and bad. It is also said, like Sitoshna, the dvandvas we say, the dualities of life. Even if somebody is yelling at me, even if somebody is praising at me, I will be the same. I will, I will not complain of cold. I will not complain of heat. So all the dvandvas, you are just bearing that. That is titiksha. Anasuya. Okay. Anasuya means, see, Amatsaryam and Anasuya, there is a little bit different. Anasuya means you don't go and talk, like bad about others. You don't imply things which are not there in others. Okay. So you only talk good things about others. Then yajnascha, you take part in yajna, and dhanam cha. Okay. Satpatra dhanam. It says not a simple dhanam to anybody. You do dhanam to satpatras. Cha damaha. Damaha means indriya nigraham. Shamaha is mano nigraham, we talk. Damaha is indriya nigraham. Dhritischa. Satkarma will dhairyam. So when you do a satkarma, an activity, you need to like feel confident. You need to do it with dhairya, without any without any shyness. Okay. So you should have shyness when something adharma comes on your way. You need to be strong. You need to show your courage when you are doing dharma. That is what it says. So it says these 12 qualities are the kalyana gunas of brahmanishta. So he says all the 12 eyes of Subrahmanya, if you chant the shloka and if you meditate on the 12 eyes of Subrahmanya, we get all these 12 qualities, which are the qualities of Brahmanishthas, one who is established in Brahman. Okay, that is what it says. Jnanam cha satyam cha shamashrutam cha amatsaryam hrihi titiksha anasuya yajnascha Danam cha damaha dhritischa yete vrataha dvadashaha brahmanasya. Okay, like that. So those are the 12 gunas. So by meditating on Subrahmanya, we get all these 12 gunas. Okay. So already we have crossed 5 minutes. Let's just stop the class here. I'm going to stop recording.